Hi, welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and this is my week in review video for the week of September 1st, September 2nd through today, September 8th. It's Sunday and it's been a busy week. So let's get to chatting about the week. I always start with highs and lows for the week. The high, I don't think very many people who watch my YouTube channel follow me on Instagram, but I posted on Instagram. So the high of the week it was Wednesday. I was stressing out about a meeting that I was having that evening with our, I'm the founder and president of a local nonprofit, and we were having a board meeting and I was feeling anxious. It was just a busy week. Lots going on with our nonprofit. And so I was I was there waiting for the meeting to start when all of a sudden my phone rings and it's my little 6-year-old nephew, and the conversation went something like this. Hello, that's me. And my nephew saying, I went to the library today. I was like, oh, cool. And did you get any books? And he said, yes, I got books and I need help. And so I was like, so you need help reading your books? And he said, yes, when can you help me? And I was like, well, do you want to come over? Do you want me to go to your house? And he's like, come please. And I was like, okay, well, how about this weekend? And he said, okay. And I was like, do you care which day? Do you have something going on? Is there like a party or something that you're planning for the weekend? He's like, no. It's like, okay then, I will call your mom and I will figure this out. So then, that was that. But I hung up and I was super happy because I was just happy that he's learning to read and he gets stuck with his reading and he thinks of me and he wants me to help him. And I've been just trying to help him learn to read for a little while. So it's really, really like, oh, for me. So I went and I met him. We met at my mom's house. And I live in like a town, and then my mom lives in like the next town to the west. And then my brother and his family, they live in the next town to the west. So they're a little bit further removed from me. So my mom lives in the town that's sandwiched between where I live and where they live. And I went and we met at my mom's house and we spent the day reading 2 books. We read them like multiple times, and we went to like a literary festival together today, and I mean that was fun. I don't think he got a lot out of it, honestly. I think he just enjoyed playing games at the festival, but it was a good time. So that was my high. Low. So I mentioned my nonprofit, and well, not my nonprofit, our community nonprofit that I'm a part of. And we had a beach cleanup this weekend, and just like preparing for it and setting up and tearing down and walking the beach and picking up trash, all of that just has me feeling it in my body. So like I'm really, really sore. Everything hurts. But it was fun. I like giving back to my community. So it's all good. Something I enjoy. I was not really active with community posts. I did say I was going to post my hummus recipe, but what I wanted to do was actually remake it, because when I did the recipe, the hummus last week that I talked about, I kind of like eyeballed it and it turned out fantastic. And one of my cousins, 2 cousins asked me for the recipe. One of them texted me this week and said, please send hummus recipe. And I've been meaning to like just measure this time. not eyeball it like I did last time, just so that I can, because nobody wants a recipe that says these are the ingredients and just eyeball it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I know the New York Times has a book like that I think I would enjoy, but if someone's asking me for a recipe, I'm thinking they probably want like actual like measurements. So I want to try and like do a better job. So once I figure that out, I didn't get a chance to work on that this last week, but maybe this week I will. So I can, because I told my cousin I'd send that and I need to, and I told y'all that I would post that and I need to, and so that's something I need to do ASAP. And tags, I haven't, but I am hoping, and a girl can only hope, that I can do a whole week of tags in the very near future just to catch up, because I've been tagged by so many friends here on BookTube lately, and in such a special way. Like, some of you have tagged me recently. You know who you are. I'm thinking off the top of my head, like I'm thinking Melinda recently tagged me in a very special way. Mimi just tagged me, or I just saw the video today. She tagged me in a really sweet and special way, and Kat has tagged me in a few that I really, really want to do, and Pat from Book Chat with Pat has tagged me some, and Ellen and Ellen Made Book Club has also tagged me in some that I'm like, oh, like, thank you. Just feels really special and meaningful. So I have others. I have others that I need to do too. But recently, those are the ones that recently come to mind where I'm like, I need to do this. So I'm hoping I get to do that sometime very soon. Books I read. I've only read 2 books this week. They are En Agosto Nos Vemos by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I listened to the Spanish audiobook for this one, and I finished it. I haven't rated it, and I don't know that I'm ready to rate it just yet. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it, and I want the physical copy, because when I was reading it, there were parts where I could really hear Gabriel Garcia Marquez's voice. And I say that because Gabriel Garcia Marquez was writing this, turned out to be a novella, like, a very short novel. It's about, I think, a 3-hour long audiobook. And so it's short. And as I was listening to it, I could hear his voice in it. And so the writing was really, really good. I mean, I enjoy Gabriel Garcia Marquez's work. I enjoy like 100 Años de Soledad, 100 Years of Solitude, like up here. And my least favorite Gabriel Garcia Marquez that I've read in my lifetime so far has been El Amor en el Tiempo del Cholera, Love in the Time of Cholera. Didn't really enjoy that one as much as I did 100 Años de Soledad. And Agosto Nos Vemos, I think, kind of falls somewhere in the middle in terms of my enjoyment. But it's a really interesting premise. It's about, one, I love that it's from a like female perspective, and the female is an older woman's perspective, and it explores issues related to women's sexuality, marriage, sex, body image, a lot of philosophical ideas, like about women and aging and pleasure and maturation. I found it to be really interesting, and it felt very thought-provoking. There was a scene, so through this writing, the protagonist is reckoning with her marriage and family life as she is having once a year escapades. I mean, I'm saying escapades because she's having these once a year one night stands, and those experiences are having an impact. But it's like she has a secret the secret that she's keeping from her family and that she is harboring, and it's what that secret is doing to her and how it's impacting the way she sees marriage and sex and family life and priorities and aging and pleasure and dissatisfaction and just like humanity, just like it's like self-image, body image, like it just explores all of these ideas. And there's a conversation where she's having a conversation with her husband. Her husband doesn't know about what is happening, and I don't think any of this is spoilery because you know this from just reading the flap, that this is about a woman who is an older protagonist, older woman, and she's having this once in August, one day in the month of August, she has like a one night stand, and so in a conversation that she has with her husband, I was driving, listening to this audiobook, and I was like holding my steering wheel tighter and tighter and tighter, just like cringing at like, oh no, oh no. I was like, no, don't say that. Like, just because I felt so much for her, but also for him. Like, I just felt so like, maybe part of me was like, I don't know. I could imagine what a couple's therapy session would be with this couple. And so maybe it was just like, took my social worker hat off, therapist hat off, and was like, oh, I think you need to talk to someone. But anyway, it was just really, really interesting, all of like the emotions that came up from reading this book. And yeah, it's very thought-provoking. It's in conversation with Nosotras que nos queremos tanto by Marcela Serrano. I love Marcela Serrano's writing and her work, and I read Nosotras que nos queremos tanto in the last year or two. I think I finished it at the beginning of this year, or December into this year. I think I finished it at the end of December or January I finished it, but I spent like a year reading that book because it was a very slow-paced novel. But that book was also about, that was more conversations between women. So a fun group of women, and it follows them as they age, as they like marry and then get into their family life and then mature and get older and go through really difficult life experiences, from separation, divorce, loss of family, like grief, I think miscarriage, like all of the stuff that women can go through in a lifetime. Like between them all, they all experience communally their grief and their heartbreak and their joys, their hopes, and their shattered dreams, like all together. And a lot of like that book feels like women sitting around having a cup of coffee and a piece of sweet bread and just sitting with each other, with their thoughts, with their most like deeply felt emotions and secrets. And it's like stuff that you only tell your girlfriends. Like it's like the most like intimate secrets that a woman can harbor. And so this book from Gabriel Garcia Marquez felt very in conversation with Marcela Serrano's and her set of protagonists as they were peeling peeling layers like of like heartbreak and secrets and exploring like women's grief and women's issues. So yeah, I also think that it's really interesting how the decision was made by his family, Gabriel Garcia Marquez's sons, to publish this posthumously. So he was working on this as his last work. Didn't finish it. To him, this was like not publishable. Like he did not want this to be published. He actually instructed that this be tossed and like discarded because it was no good. And his kids and editors that Gabriel Garcia Marquez worked this novel to put it out there to get it published. And I, for one, am really glad that they did. I know that not everybody agrees. I think some people might say follow the person's wishes and don't publish. As someone that loves Gabriel Garcia Marquez and loves his work, I would rather have this than not have anything at all. Like I really could hear his voice, and I think that to me is precious because I felt like he's no longer with us, but in some like there are strands of like clear Gabriel Garcia Marquez like fashion, you know, like it's just him. Like I hear him, I hear his thoughts, I hear his craft, and I'm all in. I'm all in. I love it. I want it. I want this on my shelves. I want it as part of my collection. So anyway, that's En Agosto Nos Vemos by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The audiobook is narrated by Catalina Sandino. And I really like her too. I think she's a great narrator. She's a great actor. Yeah, Catalina Sandino. Make sure I got that right. And then the other book that I read, so also on my Instagram, I would kind of like put a call out. I think most people that follow me on Instagram are people that know me locally, friends, family. I don't think I have a lot of people following me that are not from here, I think. So because a lot of people who follow me on Instagram live in like my home area, I put out a read 956. We live in the 956 area code. So it was September 9, 5th and 6th. And so I was encouraging people to read books by local 956 authors or set in our 956 region, that's South Texas. So I only got through one book, and it was also an audiobook. It is a narrative poem written by David Bowles, and it's titled They Call Her Fregona. And this is kind of like a sequel to They Call Me Guero, which is a Border Kids poem collection. And it's kind of like a middle grade. They Call Me Guero is kind of like a middle grade group of poems. And I think the set of poems by David Bowles is a follow-up continuation is They Call Her Fregona. In this one, Guero is 14 years old. I think he's maybe 8th grade going into high school, and he falls in love for the first time, and her name is Joanna, and they call her Fregona. And Fregona is tough girl. That's what I mean. And so she's a tough girl, and so Guero falls in love, and it's about first love, first kiss, what you wouldn't do for family, what you wouldn't do for your friends, and how you help each other overcome grief and adversity and bullies. I think it reads a little bit more YA than middle grade. I wouldn't really say this is a middle grade book. I would say this is more YA, but I don't know what it's marketed as. I got the audiobook, and I just love, as you all know, I just love coming of age. I love YA. I love middle grade too, but I really enjoyed it. I want to say I did not enjoy it as much as I did They Call Me Guero. I found that They Call Me Guero was more like, I don't know, it was special to me. I really enjoyed They Call Me Guero. This one is really nice and special too. This one made me cry. It made me smile a whole lot. I enjoyed it. I want to buy it and add it to my collection. I have a copy of They Call Me Guero, like over there. And I guess what I didn't enjoy as much as I did They Call Me Guero. It's not really a criticism, but in this one, They Call Her Fregona, I was hoping that it was more like, it would be more about Joanna, and it was still very much from Guero's perspective and more about Guero, from Guero's perspective, like how Guero views Joanna. And I really wanted to hear more from Joanna. So I think that for me was like, oh man, like I feel like I was hoping going into it that I would hear more of like Joanna's voice in it. And I didn't. I continued to hear Guero, and I like Guero, so I don't mind. It was not a problem for me, but I guess it was just an expectation that I really wanted to hear more from Joanna. I wanted to hear her voice, but I felt like I was getting to know her through Guero's eyes, and I mean, Guero was like falling in love with Joanna, and so it was easy to fall in love with Joanna through him, but I just wanted to hear her voice this time around, but it's mostly told through Guero's perspective. And currently reading. I am currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And this is as a buddy read with MJ and lots of other friends here on BookTube through a Voxer group and also through the FABLE app. If you're interested in joining, you can join us in Voxer or on the FABLE app. MJ opened up like a FABLE account. And that's where we're having the group read on FABLE. It's banned. I'll put it in the description. I can't remember. Banned books. I'm going to have to put it in the description box. I cannot remember the name of the group. And so A Court of Thorns and Roses is a retelling of the Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast, and I love a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So right now I'm kind of feeling like I like it. I'm not seeing any reason for banning. I'm not done with it yet. I'm maybe about like halfway. It doesn't read like a book that I would even like. I have not identified anything that would make it like. I mean, I don't agree with banning books to begin with, but for me, there's no content here that is problematic so far. Honestly, I don't think that I'm gonna find anything that is problematic, but I'm just reading it. I like it. Are there other like Beauty and the Beast retellings that I prefer to this one? Yes, I do. I want to talk more about that later, I think, but I need to finish it. I don't want to just. I need to finish it to be able to fully compare. But right now I'm kind of feeling like, yeah, it's alright. It's good. It's good. But I don't know. Will it top other retellings that I've enjoyed? I'm like a little bit doubtful, but we'll see. I'm still gonna give it a go and continue on, and I'm enjoying it. I like it. Like it's good. I like it. That's all I can say. Next is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. I am still reading this and really struggling to get through it, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Aaron read a book, and Aaron read a book, suggested that I read The Remains of the Day, and I am going to, Aaron. I am going to. I need to finish this one. I'm not quite ready to DNF it. I probably am gonna have to like return it to the public library and then wait, get on the holds list again and wait. And it's gonna take me a while, but I don't know why I'm not into it. I mentioned this last time, before I get it again, before I get it back from the library, I'm probably gonna watch the adaptation, because I need some motivation to finish. And I think maybe if I watch the adaptation, that might help. So I'm still thinking about that. And then, well, I mentioned I had a beach cleanup this week, so I was looking for a book that was like a little beachy, that felt like it would make me like feel good about. I mean, I always feel good about a beach cleanup, but I wanted something that I was like, okay, something related to like the sea, the beach, the sea creatures, or the environment, like an environmental read. I ended up going with Remarkably Bright Creatures because I've heard so much about it here on BookTube, and it's been on my TBR. I've had it there for a long time. I've been meaning to get to it, and I thought like, oh, this is perfect timing. I'm gonna be at the beach. I need to connect with marine life, and why not start with an octopus? So I'm still reading through that one. and I'm enjoying it. Definitely enjoying it. And The Pearl by John Steinbeck. I'm starting that one today, so I'm just adding it here to currently reading. I think I've only read the intro, but hopefully it'll be part of my bedtime routine. And I haven't DNF'd anything. I've been also reading through with Angelia's short stories. I read, the first one was Good Country People in this collection, A Good Man is Hard to Find by Flannery O'Connor. So I read Good Country People. Gee, it's like, oh, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Like the ending, I just knew it was coming. Oh my God. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so stressed reading that story. And then, what else? The Telltale Heart and Day 3. Day 3. I don't remember the name of the story. It was good. I enjoyed it. I highly suggest follow Angelia at Read and Reread, and she's been posting every day. I'm like behind. I need to catch up, but yeah, I'm glad she's doing this, and I love short stories. I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep up, especially because there's stuff coming up for me that I'm going to be traveling and it's going to be hard, but whatever I can in terms of short stories, I'm really excited to. And this is just like, it feels like a really cool side to the Shorty September event. So I'm enjoying it. Community Connection, I mentioned A Court of Thorns and Roses with MJ at Reading This Live and a whole bunch of other BookTube friends here. I mentioned, I'm buddy reading, I think I mentioned, I'm buddy reading The Pearl by John Steinbeck with Melinda at A Web of Stories. And I wanted to just bring it up again. So this is The Pearl. And A Woman of Light by Cali Fajardo Einstein. This is the author of Sabrina and Corina, a book that I just absolutely loved reading this summer. And I mentioned that I want to read this for Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month starts on September 15th and it goes through October 15th. I usually extend it because I am reading books for Dia de los Muertos as well during this time of the year. So Dia de los Muertos is November 2nd. So I usually just keep reading because it's just hard to read all the books I want to read for Hispanic Heritage Month and Dia de los Muertos in like a month. And I am a slow reader, so for me it just makes sense to like extend my Hispanic Heritage reading from September 15th to November 2nd. It gives me more time, I feel less stressed, and I get to enjoy my reading much better. So I've mentioned this before, and a couple of you have said you're interested in reading with me, and there's plenty of time, there's no pressure, there's no timeline. Just if you read it between that time, that's kind of my time frame I'll be reading it. And I have Voxer, and I'll put my Voxer information in my About Me section. I don't think I have it there, but I'll put it in. And then I'll also include my email address. So if you want to participate, you can contact me on Voxer. You can contact me via email, and we can figure out a way to chat about this. It is, this is a paperback, and let me just give you a page count. It's 308 pages. I don't know what else you want to know about it. I guess I'll read you a couple of blurbs here. Julia Alvarez blurbs, Cali Fajardo Einstein is a fearless writer. Her women are strong and scarred witnesses of the violations of their homelands, their culture, their bodies. A dazzling epic of betrayal, love, and fate that spans 5 generations of an indigenous Chicano family in the American West, from the author of the National Book Award finalist Sabrina and Corina. This is a Good Morning America Buzz pick and a Phenomenal Book Club pick. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't really want to spoil anymore by reading anything, but I'm I'm really looking forward to this. This is set in the American West, and so it is it is a landscape I think that I really enjoy. So um I don't have a podcast episode to share today. I'm still listening to Stars and Stars with Lisa and enjoying it. I think last time I mentioned the Stacked podcast. Um, I haven't been listening to podcasts outside of politics. Most of the podcasts, if I'm honest, most of the podcasts I've listened to this week are political podcasts because there's a lot happening in the world of politics in the United States. And it's hard not to get sucked into the conversations. And for recipe, so I made a vegan, gluten-free, nut-free granola bar. I made this back in July when I was traveling to Austin, and it was a hit. My friends enjoyed my granola bars, so I needed a snack to take to the beach cleanup, just in case people like needed some nourishment, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough. So I made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I made granola bars, and people really liked them, and people asked me for the recipe. So I shared the recipe, and I'm going to share it with you because I like a recipe that I've made and I've loved, and then I've seen time and time again people enjoy. So yeah, I think it's a recipe worth sharing. So if you are into like vegan, gluten-free, nut-free, like if you or those you love, your people have food allergies, I think this is a good recipe. The granola bars are really, really easy to come together in about 30 to 40 minutes. They do bake for like 25 minutes, I think. So can like active time is less than 30 minutes, but with the cooking time, it's about 30, 35 minutes, maybe 40, but depending on how slow you prep. But it's really easy. Like it's like super, super easy. No complicated things, no major prep that needs to maybe happen ahead of time. They do come together quickly and they taste really, really good. One of my friends, when I took them to Austin, she woke up one day and she smelled the granola bars and she said, "Smells like Christmas." And so that kind of gives you an idea, like, and I think I didn't know what she was talking about initially. She was like, "It smells like Christmas," and I was like, no, no, I don't smell Christmas. And then I was like, I opened the granola bars and I was like, oh, ginger, cinnamon, yes, those are smells of Christmas, ginger and cinnamon. So she was associating that with Christmas, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is the granola bars. So if you like ginger and you like cinnamon and you like those smells and you like your house to smell like Christmas, then this is a recipe you might want to try. And I am looking forward to travel. So in the coming week, I'll be traveling to Houston. And then later in the month, I'm traveling to Portland Portland, Oregon. And I'm really excited. I've always wanted to visit the Pacific Northwest, and I hear Portland is my kind of town because there's a lot of vegan food, and everybody keeps telling me that I'm going to love it and I'm going to want to live there. I don't think I want to live in Portland, but I definitely think that I am going to love it, and I'm especially excited. Well, I'm going for a concert, so I'm excited for the concert, but I'm also excited for the food, and I can't wait to like and then Powell's, yes. I'm also excited about Powell's. And then I'm also excited to go to a creative reuse center in Portland that I follow and love. And so I am just all in all excited for my upcoming travels. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Hasta la próxima.